We are going to another concept of physics only, that is called as momentum. Imagine a person is there on bicycle, he is traveling on bicycle, and that person is hitting out another person on road. What is the impact of this hit? Say, person is driving bicycle. I have not mentioned mass of bicycle, mass of person, and velocity of bicycle. May be possible, these all concepts are required. Say bicycle is moving, but what is the speed of bicycle? That is not mentioned over here. May be possible, same person is walking on road and he was hit by a bus with very slow speed. But what is the impact? Another experiment. Before discussing this, I should suggest you to perform simple experiment. But keep in mind, while performing this experiment, you should be in open air. Don't perform this experiment in your home. And use only the thing which I am explaining here. Don't change out the objects over there. Simply, you have to take one football. I hope that you must have football, or you can borrow for one experiment from any of your friends. Usually this experiment you can perform in open air only, so don't perform this under roof. Now you can have table tennis ball. I am using word again, keep in mind that plastic ball is there, that is table tennis ball. Don't use tennis ball. We have to use table tennis ball. Keep it on this. And now drop out it. Simply say, I am holding out this football on that table tennis ball and just drop it. And observe. The observation is that while going down, both balls are having same velocity. But the moment that football hits out ground, it bounces back, and while bouncing back, the table tennis ball jumps with tremendous velocity. You may get fun of this experiment also. So try to perform this experiment, you will get concept. Something is not there only on mass and only on velocity, but on basis of product of mass and velocity. Say, suppose person is walking on road, that was hit by bicycle, but by virtue, suppose the road is slopy road and bicycle is traveling with speed of 60 kilometers per hour, and then person is hit, the impact is definitely different. Whereas person is walking on road, but it was hit, that person was hit by a slow moving bus, then impact is something different. Now imagine person is hit by train, slow moving train, then also impact should be something different. We have to check out what is the impact. So first thing, I have to start here to explain for this a concept, that is mass. You are aware that mass is given in terms of kilogram, but it is the product of mass and velocity. So this product of mass and velocity I am denoting as small p. This is the problem of English. I am not able to say this is small or capital. That's why I am repeating. This is small p, that is multiplied by mass into velocity. Velocity is meter per second. The product of this mass and velocity we are calling as momentum. And every time the impact is determined here by momentum. Suppose a person is hit by a bicycle, which is having considerable less mass and high velocity. Mass is less, velocity is high, momentum is high. Mass is more, velocity is less, then also momentum is high. Mass is low and velocity is low, momentum is also low. That's why a person who is walking on road, you are driving your bicycle carefully, and then you are going to hit that fellow. Then obviously he is going to hit you back, because he will get only push from your bicycle. But suppose that fellow is walking on road and he was hit by a bus, then obvious thing is that he is not going to hit you back, because he will get only push from your bicycle. But suppose that fellow is walking on road and he was hit by a bus, then obvious thing is that he is not going to hit you back, because that fellow is walking on road and he was hit by a bus, then obvious thing is that he is not going to hit you back, because he is obviously depending upon the speed of bus, he must be there in hospital only or somewhere else. But this is the example I am giving you, that the product of mass and velocity is here important. Product of mass and velocity, that is called as momentum, and depending upon momentum we can determine the impact of heat. Now imagine same way that two cars are moving. Okay, I am not giving lecture on road safety, but these are common examples, and particularly I am staying in crowded city, so these examples are common for me. Many times we are going to observe that. Suppose two cars are moving and they are striking out each other. What is the impact? Many times this type of accidents you must have heard, that truck is hitting out car or truck is hitting out bike rider, etc. What is the impact? Sometimes the impact is very, very, very worst, and sometimes only car get damaged out. Let us check out. This is the car 1, this is car 2. This is having mass as m1, v as v1. This is having mass m2, velocity v2. Both are traveling in the same direction, and v1 is little bit greater than v2. Then they are going to hit, but hit is in one direction only. Now at that time we have to consider a concept, that is relative velocity. The relative velocity will be v1 minus v2, and that's why suppose this is 60 km per hour, this is 59 km per hour, so relative velocity will be 1 km per hour, and this velocity I have to substitute over here by converting out into meter per second. So only that is the momentum. But suppose they are traveling in opposite direction, that means we are calling this as head-on collision, then apparent velocity is more, and then we are saying relative velocity equal to v1 plus v2. Now you must have observed these all things. Suppose you are going by a car and another car is just overtaking you. While that, you may observe faces of person sitting inside that car, maybe possible number of car, that is number plate of car you can able to observe, you can able to read. Suppose the velocity difference is very less, you can observe this way very clearly what is there inside car also. But a car is traveling in this direction, another car is coming in this direction, and they are passing out. When they are passing out, you are not able to observe who is sitting in the car from side, who is there sitting in the car, how many persons are there in the car, what is the number of car, etc. Because the velocity, what velocity you are traveling and what velocity that car, we have to add out. Suppose your car is moving slow, but that car is moving fast, then also relative velocity here is v1 plus v2, that is velocity of first car and velocity of second car. Same way, suppose many times this happen, while I am driving car, I am driving supposed to be not that high speed, my speed is around 60 to 80, but sometime I get that certain racer bikers, they are just overtaking me. I have to check what is my speed, 80 km per hour, what is their speed, because the way they are overtaking, their speed is surely greater than 80 km per hour. Same way, suppose that same fellow is coming in opposite direction, then that overtake will take place in very, very small time, because my speed is 80 but their speed is more than 80. So net speed is 80 plus whatever that, say their speed is 100. So 80 plus 100, net speed of overtake is 180. And that's why when we are considering opposite directional part, we are calling this as momentum is in opposite direction, then the damage is of greater extent. Now we are coming to Newton's second law of motion. Now you are aware about momentum. So what Newton's second law says, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force applied. I am revising words. Rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force applied, and it takes place along the direction of force applied. Simple. First, try to get what is the word rate of change of momentum. For that purpose, we can consider simply the object having mass 1 and it is having velocity 1, that is u1. Second, okay, instead of that, mass m and initial velocity u, that is most appropriate. So the initial momentum of substance, that is m into u. So I should write p1, that is mass into initial velocity, therefore it is u. So it is momentum, that is equal to mass into u. Now p2, after some time, suppose momentum is change or final momentum. Now momentum is change, but for same object mass will be same. So what is the change? Only in velocity. So it is m into v, that is the final velocity. So this way we are able to calculate initial momentum and final momentum. Now what is change of momentum? Change of momentum should be equal to P2 minus P1, or that is equal to mv minus mu. So it is final momentum minus initial momentum, that is change of momentum. Now I have to calculate rate of change of momentum. Rate means what? Per some unit time here. So per unit time, so I have to divide this by t. So this is rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force applied. So this is second law of Newton. I am again revising here. The force applied is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. So rate of change of momentum we calculated first, and then we go in this way, that force applied is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum, and it takes place. That it means what? The change of momentum takes place in the direction of the force applied. Okay, now I have to remove this sign, because whenever we are there with proportionality sign, we are not able to calculate. In order to remove this proportionality sign, we have to remove this sign by sign of equality and some constant. So always keep in mind, by using this technique we are removing proportionality sign. That equal to sign we have to substitute, and we have to put some constant. Now here I am substituting here by equality sign and k. Now here I can take m outside. What is remaining inside? That is v minus u upon t. Try to get our previous data, that v minus u by t, that is acceleration, that is rate of change of velocity. And so I am getting here force equal to k m, and I am substituting value of v minus u by t, because we got that as a. If not, go to previous lecture and check out. So this way we got formula that work done, force, that is equal to k into mass into acceleration. Now this value, this is constant. We can determine this value of constant. If we are using SI units, then this value is 1. And therefore we got formula, that is force, that is equal to mass into acceleration. That is from Newton's second law of motion. So this way Newton's second law of motion is able to determine what is the formula for force by applying. Otherwise we have to apply kma, but here we are getting value in SI unit as 1. So we are getting formula as F equal to ma. That's why in previous lecture only we discuss about different entities. Out of that we discuss about units. So force, and now you are aware that unit of force, that is Newton.